Black Orchid is one of those fragrances like iconic, like really iconic. Dark, dramatic, unapologetically bold. Black Orchid EDP was released back in 2006. The perfumers are David Arpels and Pierre Negrin. Here's the EDP. Parfum was released back in 2020. And that's the batch date on mine. Mine is the original 2020 release. And Black Orchid Reserve just recently in 2025. When it first came out, it was marketed as a woman's fragrance. Realistically, this scent never cared about gender. Now it's fully unisex, and honestly, it always was. It's decadent, intoxicating, and a little dangerous. The kind of scent that enters the room before you do. An absolute powerhouse. So let me just give it a little quick spritz. This one's the EDP in the 50 ml. That's all I really needed in these fragrances. A little goes a long way. Oh yeah, the EDP. Oh, I just love Black Orchid. Oh yeah, then we have the Parfum. I'm gonna spray a little bit. I didn't spray any on my skin because it's heavy duty. We're still, oh yeah, you could smell the difference right off the bat. There is a difference. There is a noticeable difference when you spray all three. One is decadent, which is the EDP. One has more woods, which is the Parfum, which leans a bit more on the masculine side. And then you have Reserve, which is somewhat floral. Okay, so I'll go over the differences. Oh yeah, and here's the Reserve. Very nice. Reserve does not have the little fancy tie there along the top. And yeah, really nice. I just love, these smell so good. So let's start with the original Black Orchid EDP. This one is the most complex and layered. You get a lot going on, but it works right away. It's earthy and rich. Black truffle hits first, mixed with the citrus sparkle from the bergamot, mandarin, and Amalfi lemon. Plus florals like gardenia, jasmine, ylang ylang. It smells luxurious, almost baroque. Is that how I would describe it? Really nice. Wow. And this is the original, and of course you fall in love with the original. Now as it dries down, the orchid and spices come through with this fruity, slightly sweet, floral heart, and then the base is where the magic really happens. Dark chocolate, patchouli, vanilla, incense, amber, sandalwood, vetiver, white musk. It's creamy, chocolatey, earthy, and sensual. It is indulgent and seductive with that signature chocolate patchouli combo that made Black Orchid famous. This one feels plush, dramatic, and slightly mysterious. Oh yeah, this is so good. Wow. Let's move on to the Parfum. So I'm gonna grab my tester. So we have EDP, Parfum, and Reserves on this side. Oh yeah. Now the Black Orchid Parfum. This is where things get more stripped back and darker. The notes are way more abbreviated, and you could smell that focus. Instead of all the citrus and extra florals, you get black truffle and plum right at the top. It's deeper, richer and less sparkly. Really nice. The heart brings in rum, ylang ylang, and black orchid, which gives it this boozy, almost syrupy warmth. And then the base is mainly patchouli, but it wears heavier and woodier here. So nice. Wow. Oh yeah. The Parfum. Oh yeah. Oh, I love the Parfum. The Parfum leans more masculine to my nose because of that rum note and the smoother woods, especially that creamy sandalwood vibe underneath. It's less sweet, less floral, more shadowy and bold. Really nice. Wow. The Velvet Lounge. Dim lighting, expensive drink in hand. That's Parfum. And then there's Black Orchid Reserve. Okay. This one is more floral. This one feels like a modern refinement, still unmistakably black orchid, but cleaner and more polished. You get black truffle and bergamot at the top. Let me smell that. So there's a little brightness again, but not as much as the EDP. The EDP is more complex, as is the Parfum. The middle is simpler. The ylang ylang and black orchid, the florals. The ylang ylang here is boosted, more prominent and creamy. So that ylang ylang, it comes off as floral. You can tell the difference in the three, especially with the Orchid Reserve. The florals are more pronounced. These are all definitely unisex, and the Parfum leans masculine. The base brings back the indulgence with a dark chocolate patchouli, tonka and vanilla. It's smoother, slightly sweeter, and more controlled. Less wild than the EDP, less boozy than the Parfum. Very elegant, very intentional. That's what I get from Reserve. Very nice. Really, really nice. With Black Orchid Reserve, what really elevates it for me is how the tonka and vanilla soften everything without making it sweet or too playful. They don't turn it into a dessert fragrance. Instead, they add this warm, velvety smoothness that wraps around the dark chocolate patchouli. Really nice, the Reserve. The tonka gives it slightly creamy, almost almond-like warmth. And this is the newest release, and it's just, oh, it's so nice. The vanilla smooths out the edges, rounds everything off so it feels more polished and luxurious, like the EDP's chocolate patchouli richness. It got tailored into a perfectly fitted suit. That's what Reserve did. Really nice. Wow. It's still decadent, still sensual, just a bit more controlled and refined. That's what I get out of the three in comparison. That vanilla isn't loud at all. It's subtle, almost glowing in the background, while the tonka adds depth and warmth that makes Reserve feel cozy but still dark. Combined with the boosted ylang ylang, it gives Reserve this creamy, sophisticated elegance that sets it apart from the heavier, more chaotic EDP and the boozy, shadowy Parfum. So Reserve ends up feeling smoother, warmer, and more refined, less drama, more confidence. It's Black Orchid grown up, still intoxicating, just wearing silk instead of velvet. All right, so one more sniff. Oh yeah, that EDP is something else. Wow. Now, at the end of the day though, the Parfum is the one I reach for the most. It's what I've reached for the most during the couple of months that I've been testing that I had the Reserve. And that's because of the woody booziness. And it's more on the masculine side. The rum note gives it this dark, intoxicating warmth that feels deeper and more mature. Almost like aged liquor soaked in polished wood. It's smoother, heavier, more grounded than the EDP or the Reserve. Where the EDP leans decadent and chocolatey, and Reserve feels creamy and refined, the Parfum feels confident and commanding. The woods come through stronger, especially that smooth, almost creamy sandalwood effect underneath the patchouli, and it gives the scent structure. It smells less ornamental and more intentional. I love how Parfum doesn't rely on sweetness. It's darker, drier, and more sensual in a subtle way. The boozy rum note paired with the woods makes it feel masculine without trying too hard. And that's what hooks me on this Parfum. It wears closer, feels richer, and has this quiet intensity that just works for my style. So with all three, they're all unmistakably Black Orchid and equally iconic in their own way, that's for sure. Wow, that Parfum. The Parfum wins for me because of that woody, boozy depth. It hits different. It feels powerful, seductive, and timeless. The kind of scent I want on my skin when I really want to make an impression on someone. Really nice. EDP is the most decadent and complex, chocolatey, patchouli heavy, dramatic, and iconic. Parfum is darker and more masculine leaning, boozy, woody, smoother, and more intense. Reserve sits right in between, refined, creamy with a strong ylang-ylang presence and a polished chocolate patchouli base. So Parfum leans masculine, EDP and the Reserve, they sit right in the middle there. So that's pretty much summing up these three fragrances in their comparison. So no matter which version you choose, Black Orchid is intoxicating. It's not a safe fragrance. They're bold, confident, and unforgettable. The kind of scent that people remember you by. So as far as versatility is concerned, these are more a fall fragrance. You could sport this in the summertime, a summer evening, a cooler summer evening with the right setting. Okay, unisex, like I mentioned earlier, Parfum, a little bit more on the boozy side, a little that creamy sandalwood, it leans a little bit more masculine. Very nice, and I'm glad I took the time out to really compare, because when you spray it first, the EDP and the Parfum, they almost seem similar, but that booziness and that creaminess, sets them apart. And the Reserve has that ylang-ylang, it's more floral. So you can definitely smell the difference in the florals in the Reserve, but they're not girly or feminine. Really nice. Gentleman in a nice sophisticated gentleman with a nice suit, dressed up nice. You could go casual with it. You just have to have the right settings. I wouldn't wear blue jeans with this, okay? Perfect date night scent. Really nice. Projection is good, it's great. Longevity all day. I'm a heavy sprayer, so I have to go easy on the trigger on these, because you could choke someone out with Black Orchid. And I just, a little side note here, the Black Orchid, this was before I introduced myself to Black Orchid. I had the Tom Ford Extreme, like EDT. This is my, yeah. So my Tom Ford EDT Extreme is really a lighter version of Black Orchid. So I have the EDT Tom Ford for men. I should have brought that out too. I have all those originals. I have the Tom Ford for men, Tom Ford for men vetiver, EDT, before the EDP came out, and the Parfum and all that, and the silver bottle. This is really nice. I'm afraid to use this because it is rare, and you know, I don't think it can be replaced. This is from my original purchase. Really nice. So, yeah, that's it. That's my review of and comparison of Tom Ford on the Parfum and Reserve in Black Orchid. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope everyone is well, and I will absolutely see you next time. Thanks.